create a quick video today to show you how to use Visibox's MCP server with an AI assistant. Nearly all of Visibox's functionality can be controlled with an AI assistant, including everything from editing your project, editing your clips, and editing your songs, all the way through to creating new effects or visualizers to use in your shows. Visibox will work with any desktop assistant that can use MCP protocol. And as of this recording, this list includes Claude Desktop and Code, Cursor, Visual Studio Code, OpenAI's Codex, Gemini CLI, and many more. Registering the Visibox MCP with your favorite assistant is as easy as installing the desktop version of your assistant on your computer and then going into the settings menu and selecting Connect to AI Tools. You get a little message telling you that Visibox is registered with your MCP server, and you may need to restart your tool. I'll start by going into Claude's desktop tool here and just simply asking it if it's able to talk to Visibox. Once we've confirmed that the connection's set up, let's create a new audio reactive effect preset. Effects in Visibox can be created using just CSS, the same language you use to create web pages. So let's open up Visibox here and I'll show you the effects. This is the effects editor window in Visibox, and you can click on some of the existing presets. You can resize the preview here, and if you click to get some audio going, you can see effects like this one that are audio reactive. I will stop it so we can talk a little more, but basically if you scroll down, you can see the CSS. And if you're familiar with CSS, this is just CSS. It's using some CSS variables that react to the music to give audio reactivity, but effects do not necessarily need to be audio reactive. And they're pretty straightforward. We've got different types of effects. Some have animations, some are audio reactive in various ways. You can also add SVG filters. SVG filters are also a bit of a dark art, but you can use them here as well as part of your CSS effect. So yeah, we've got different types. And basically they all are here as presets. So we've got app-based presets, we've got plugins, which are file-based presets, and then we've got a section which is called My Effects, which is effects that I have created and are stored on my computer. So let's create a new preset and create a new effect in Visibox. I'll open up Claude here, and it's already talking to Visibox as we've seen. I've got an idea for an effect. I want to create an effect that is like the James Bond opening sequence. And I'm just going to talk to Claude and tell it my idea here. So I hit to turn on the microphone. So I want to create a Visibox preset that works kind of like the opening sequence of a James Bond movie. It'll be a CSS-based Visibox effect preset that masks out everything but a circle on the screen, and that circle kind of jumps around randomly or pseudo-randomly as part of this effect. So it's going to have some animations and some, I guess, masking. And basically, most of the screen will be black, but there'll be a circle that cuts out the black and jumps around and resizes randomly, and it just loops. And there we go. So now that's the prompt, and I'm just going to send that off to Claude, and it'll spend some time thinking about it. So now it's looking at the MCP. MCP stands for the Model Context Protocol. And basically what that means is we've got a model, which is the shape of the API, the way that the application programming interface talks to Visibox. It has a model, and we've created some context and a protocol to send and how to talk from one to another. So the context is kind of everything that AI assistants do. Is they kind of figure out the shape of things. So right now it's looking at the existing CSS effects to see the conventions of them and understand how it works. It's reading basically what sort of amounts to some internal documentation between the AI agent and Visibox. And it's architecting what it's calling a radial gradient animation with animated jumping circles. I don't know that I want a gradient, but we'll see. We'll see what it does and how close it is to what I have envisioned in my head. In general, with any AI, it's a good idea to give as much context as possible. So I'll wait for it to finish. But oftentimes with these things, you need to go back and forth several times to get it to do the right thing. All right, gun barrel iris bond. It created it. And this is what we've got currently. And basically it's doing just what I said. So the eye that's in the background here is the, you can see it from the other presets, but it's basically, it's created a mask that cuts out part of the eye. I might want it to happen a little bit more frequently, a little bit larger, but you get the idea. And it's created this whole CSS effect that's a CSS animation with keyframes, and it's calling it the Bond Iris. Oh, I almost forgot. Let me also show you here how quickly and easily it is to add an effect to a clip in Visibox. So we could just add it to, I don't know, this clip here in our demo project. We go to effects, and we have the gun barrel iris effect now. And now when we trigger this effect, it will show with that. When we trigger that clip, it will show with that effect on it. Like I said, I think I want it to move a little faster. I have some tweaks. I'm going to make some tweaks after this video is done. But you see how it works. So there you go. That's how you can create CSS effects. But you can also do all sorts of things with the MCP server in Visibox, using it along with your desktop AI assistant of choice. You can edit your projects. You can edit your clips. You can rearrange things in Visibox. You can also create visualizers as well, because creating shader code is even more difficult than creating CSS code. But that's the subject of another video, and I'll see you next time.